So someone puts you up against a wall like this, right? They got a nice firm grip around the neck. They're in your face yelling at you because you owe them money or whatever the case is. Like, what would you do in this situation, right? We're gonna go under the assumption that this hand has not come into play yet, other than possibly just waving a finger. Now, there's a lot of things that this hand could start doing. It could have a weapon, it could start hitting you, it could start smacking you around a little bit, it could start reaching for your pockets. Like, there are a lot of variables. We could take this video in a million different directions. But again, there's levels in self-defense. This is the initial threat before something else happens. So let's assume that you have the reaction time to start going right out of the gate, right? It's gonna be natural that your hands go up, whether you're trained or not. It's a normal reaction to get your hands up. So we're gonna start utilizing this. If I'm in this situation, the first thing that I can do, regardless of whether or not I wanna trap this hand, is I can take either which hand, because again, like drive into me, I'm still in a good position that I can like lay a good hit. So if someone does this to me, whether I want to take my outside hand and lay like a good hook and then start coming off with the cross and we can throw combinations. I can even use like the same side hand and start throwing a hit there. Now, realistic for me, or more realistically for me, I would want to clear this hand at the same time. So maybe as I clear this hand off, because again, this isn't like super strong, you're not really grabbing my throat, I guess by any means, right? I can clear this as I smack or, you know, throw a hook here and then immediately come up, uppercuts, crosses, whatever, and we can just essentially fight our way off the wall. But let's just assume that you're not thinking about that, or maybe you want to get a little bit more technical. Again, we're all about options on this channel. So if those punches or whatever aren't in your arsenal, let's just start focusing on clearing this arm. Simple option is just taking the out or opposite hand of this, and I just want to smack at the wrist, especially if this is a big guy. I'm not trying to smack here, I'm not trying to smack here. I want to go right at the wrist. But even if I just hit hard here, I need to make sure that I move in the opposite direction. So as I strike the wrist, I want to move out at the same time. Again, I would immediately follow up with like punches from there, or just use that as an opportunity to turn and run 200 meters as fast as I possibly can in the other direction. But again, you have to remember that simply running away means that you're faster than your attacker. Going off the same option, I can do the same thing, but I can actually turn into it. Now, yes, this does expose my back, but I'm not going to hang out in this position. I'm going to immediately look to kind of return with a good elbow to the face, or again, couple elbows, maybe 2, 3, come down with the hammer fist, and again, we immediately come off the wall. So if you're getting the trend here, it's you should be coming off exploding with strikes and punches to, again, just start clearing distance, and then you can get the hell out of here. Another option that you have, let's say we do this, I go to throw the elbow, maybe I hit him, maybe I don't, but they immediately kind of drop their level and start looking to like pressure me in. Now again, if he manages to pin me up against the wall, we're in a completely different situation now. Now I gotta worry about getting my hips free, I gotta start framing, I gotta start getting head control. Like there's a lot of elements that I have to deal with. But again, if we acknowledge, right, there's a couple ways that they can get out of this. If I see that their head starts dropping level, I can immediately come over, lock in a nice deep guillotine. If you saw the recent Nate Diaz video, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Slip this guillotine in, start applying the pressure as high as you possibly can, and we can get the finish from there. From here, again, I have options. Like I can use this guillotine and look to kind of trade positions and put him up against the wall and completely clear distance. I can use this guillotine to kind of like snap him down into a sprawl position. From here, I can continue working strikes if I need to, or again, we get back up to our feet and we get the hell out of there. So at the end of the day, like again, you have options. They pin that arm up against your neck, like right away, like this is a threatening position. I don't have time, or I shouldn't even worry about what's coming next. I'm just gonna deal with this right away. The moment this happens, smack them, punch them, clear the hand and start throwing strikes. You know, block it off and start throwing elbows, but I'm not gonna sit here and wait to see what is he about to do next, because again, if he starts getting his hand involved, now we're dealing with even more threats, and that situation is slowly growing to be more dangerous. So understand that when it comes to self-defense, there are layers. It's not always like you have to deal with the worst possible case scenario. You can deal with that shit right away. Give it a shot.